Good afternoon everybody and welcome to another Wednesday Wellbeing video. This week we're talking about sleep problems as promised. A few of you have requested sleep problems as a subject and it's not really surprising because there's consistent reports across the world from countries affected by the coronavirus pandemic that people are having increased difficulty sleeping. And the sleep problems associated with the pandemic seem to be difficulty getting to sleep, frequent waking during the night, nightmares, waking up early or oversleeping, and even excessive sleeping. The reasons that have been identified across the board seem to be that we're worrying about our own health and about the health of others, that we have financial worries and worries about job security, that our daily routines have been disrupted, that we're doing different activities, we have different sleep routines, social isolation, and finally more time on our screens. So our devices give off blue light, and the blue light tells our brain to stop producing the sleep hormone melatonin, and so that can affect our sleep patterns as well. Because of the situation we're in, we're spending a lot more time on social media and what have you. But the important question is, what can we do about it, obviously? So it seems to be the case that whatever your sleep problems are, the recommendations are the same. And the first thing is obviously that much of it is anxiety related, and lots of us are experiencing anxiety, and that's widely accepted as quite natural. Addressing the anxiety and the worry and problems with mood is probably one of the first places to start. So you might find the first couple of videos quite helpful for that. I'll put links to the videos in the comments as usual. There's a quote from Charlotte Bronte that I kept seeing everywhere that says, "A ruffled mind makes a restless pillow." And so sorting out our minds is a good place to start. Especially as it becomes a vicious circle, that the more anxious we are, the more sleep problems we have, the more sleep problems we have, the tireder we are, the more intense our emotions become, and then the more intense our emotions, the worse our sleep is. And sleep is important for both our physical and mental health, so it is important to address sleep problems when you have them. I've summarised seven things that you can do to help with your sleep. There are more things, and I'll put other helpful links in the comments again. But here are the things we can do. So the first thing is to create a new sleep routine that fits with our lockdown life. So we need to stable the internal body clock that has probably become a bit disorientated by all the changes that have been going on. So whatever fits with the life you're living at the moment, you need to have the same bedtime and same wake up time every day as much as possible. Otherwise your internal body clock gets confused. So number two, part of that bedtime routine is to create a wind down routine, which you consistently carry out every evening, and this should be sort of 30 minutes to an hour long before you go to bed, and this is a time to wind your brain down and your body down. Your brain doesn't easily snap from activity into sleep. You can't just switch it off straight away. So creating an environment that will relax you and your brain. So dim lighting, a relaxing activity. You might want to do some of the breathing activities from the mindfulness video, or do some relaxation exercises, read a book, use audio books, do some puzzles. And it's important in this time not to use your device because of the issue with blue light, as I explained earlier. Now, it may be that your device has a blue light filter on it. Mine does. And this helps, but it doesn't resolve the problem entirely. But if you are going to use your phone in the evening at all, it's worth switching on the blue light filter. Again, another thing to avoid in that wind down time is watching the news or reading the news, because if the news is and the current situation is contributing to your anxieties and worries, then that can just exacerbate the situation. Number 3, to reduce alcohol and caffeine intake. And that includes cola and energy drinks, as well as tea and coffee. Caffeine stays in the body for 8 hours, which is more than most people expect. So that it's recommended that you stop drinking caffeine at around 2 or 3 in the afternoon. And alcohol, it's a common thing for people to use alcohol to help them get to sleep. And alcohol can indeed help you drift off to sleep in the first instance. Once you've got to sleep, the alcohol can cause this more disturbed sleep and therefore less refreshing sleep. And again, actually, nicotine is a stimulant. So if you're using e-cigarettes or smoking, it will make it longer for you to get to sleep. Number 4 is avoid large meals near to bedtime. It's best to have large meals at lunchtime or in the early evening. If you want to, you can have a light snack before bed, but nothing too heavy that's going to be too difficult to digest and therefore impact on your sleep. Exercise is very important. So exercise is number 5. It's important to wear out your body as well as your mind. So if you're not doing much physical activity during lockdown, and some people aren't because they feel they're stuck in their house, it may be that you need to look at introducing some more exercise. But it's important that you don't do your exercise, particularly if it's vigorous exercise, within 3 hours of bedtime, because it can speed up your metabolism and make you more alert, and therefore make it harder to get to sleep. And in terms of aiding sleep, researchers say that the best time to exercise is in the afternoons rather than the mornings. But obviously you have to work out what fits in with your day. Number 6 on the list is to make your bedroom only for sleep, or rather only for sleep and certain other activities that traditionally go on in the bedroom. The brain forms an association between the room and sleep, and you can use that to your advantage. But if you are using your bedroom for a multitude of other activities, that will weaken the link. So if your brain associates the room with work, for example, then it will be harder to relax and wind down in that room. So if you're having to work from home, do try to avoid working from your bedroom. But also, not just for paid work, but avoid doing things like the ironing in your bedroom, because that again, that can form an association with your brain, and you might start to associate your bedroom with worrying about housework and all the list of things that you have to do. But interestingly, they say not to use your bedroom for watching television as well, because it still weakens the connection with sleep that forms in your brain. And it helps if you can create a nice, pleasant environment in your bedroom that's sort of clutter-free, that's tidy, and that's a generally relaxing environment. And last on the list, number 7, if you do wake up during the night, get up. Don't lie worrying about not being able to sleep. Get up, go to another room, and do some more of your wind down activities. Again, you don't want to associate your bed with not sleeping. So if you lie there thinking, oh, I can't sleep, then your brain might begin to associate your bed with not sleeping. And when you do go back to bed, don't keep looking at the clock. Maybe turn it to face the wall, so that you don't constantly check the time and see how long it is that you've been awake. And again, during the night, not to use devices if possible. So these are all just suggestions of things you can try. They're fairly broadly recommended across all the NHS websites, the mental health websites, general health websites. They won't all be helpful for you, but there might be specific things that jump out to you that you want to try first, or you may just try one thing and then add in or swap for another. If you have persistent sleep problems though, it's worth speaking to your GP if they've gone on for 3 or 4 weeks or so. It may be that there's an underlying problem that's causing it, like it could be related to a medication that you're taking, or you may have a health problem that's affecting your sleep, like sleep apnea or restless legs. Again, I'll put some useful links in the comments if you want to explore some of these ideas further. Other than that, if you have more requests for subjects you'd like to be covered in these videos, do please let me know. This is for you, so if you have concerns about anything to do with well-being, do let me know. But for now, goodbye.